Welcome to the Science of Healthy Weight Loss with Dr. Stanley K. Bernstein, a podcast that will demystify, deconstruct, and detail the journey to healthy weight loss and a healthier you. Dr. Bernstein has made it his life work to study the science of healthy weight loss. Over the past 50 years, his program has helped hundreds of thousands of people lose millions of pounds of excess weight and restore their health. Through his methods, his patients can lose up to 20 pounds every month, which can help improve their associated medical problems and even get some people off their medications altogether. Our series will examine all the angles of losing weight properly, how the science works, the health benefits, why support is so important, how to keep those pounds from creeping back on, and much more. We thank you for joining us. Now, let's start losing weight. Previously, Dr. Bernstein looked at the importance of knowing the proper foods to buy and how to prepare and portion them. We took some science lessons about ketosis and learned what happens inside our body when we gain and lose weight, and the benefits of getting healthier today so your future self will thank you. We discovered a new way to think about exercise and dispelled some myths about fad diets. On this episode, Getting Off the Roller Coaster, we'll learn how proper, healthy weight loss methods can provide steady progress that avoids the pitfalls that can create the roller coaster or yo-yo effect. We'll discover why continued support is vital. Everyone has a high level of motivation when they start a diet, but after a matter of time and disappointing results, enthusiasm can wane. It's human nature. But with the support of Dr. Bernstein's team, spirits can and do remain high. As we learned in our previous episode, the physical aspects of losing and gaining weight can be a huge source of frustration. Why, you ask? Most diets are lacking in some aspects that make it impossible for your body to adhere to for more than a short time. They lead to nutritional deficiencies and cause troubling side effects. Eventually, most people quit and end up putting the weight back on. The emotional effects of this roller coaster can be a huge source of frustration and demotivation as well when you realize all of that initial effort didn't pay off. Also on this episode, we'll come along with you on your social events, figuratively, of course. They can be a challenge when trying to shed pounds. Social events, family gatherings, and vacations may find you indulging a bit. Let's see how we can keep your goals on target and avoid those demotivating pitfalls along the way. And what about the new you? The new you requires a new way to look at eating for a fitter body and to make sure the weight doesn't creep back up on you. Are you ready to get off the weight loss roller coaster? After you've put in all that effort to lose the weight, how do you keep it off? Let's talk about maintenance and support. We know how Dr. Bernstein's weight loss program is firmly rooted in science with a long history of success. His program's success is renowned, and it's achieved with the fundamentals of the ABCs of goal setting: achievable, believable, committed. Dr. Bernstein's approach had been in practice for decades, so we know that rapid, healthy weight loss results are achievable. That's the A. But achieving your goals isn't a quick fix. It's a controlled, regulated process of checks and balances with the support of the Dr. Bernstein team that helps to ensure you're on the path to successful weight loss. Dr. Bernstein explains what happens on many other programs.
The patients come to us with the intention of losing weight, and they want to lose it, and they're motivated to lose weight. If they tell us that they've tried many weight loss programs before, in fact, 99% of our patients have been on other diets before they come to us. And they tell us about their frustration from trying a diet. It's hard to follow the foods. They get hungry right away. They get episodes of feeling tired and weak and dizzy and lightheaded. They find that after 3 or 4 weeks of being on the diet, their weight loss hits a brick wall. They hit plateaus. They don't lose very well. Or they find that they're losing a lot of weight off their face and not so much off their abdomen, their waist and hip areas as they'd like to. And they're running into malnutrition with losing electrolytes, sodium, potassium, excess fluids from their body. and then they get frustrated and they've quit. This has happened many times. They found that they have not been physically as active as they hope to be with some of their weight loss on other diet programs. And then the worst problem is after they lose weight for a month or two even, and they try to eat normally again, their body rebounds and puts the weights back on again, and it's all been for nothing.
When progress starts to slide and the struggle repeatedly becomes more difficult on those other plans, we lose our motivation and develop a pessimistic view on the chances of success. Eventually, and sadly, many people stop trying. Getting you off that roller coaster is where Dr. Bernstein's team comes in. Your confidence and motivation is boosted with the knowledge that you're not in this alone and that you have experienced professionals guiding you through the journey, and that the program has been clinically proven over many years and is designed to avoid the difficulties and pitfalls that failed you previously. This is the B in ABC. Believable. So, Dr. Bernstein, tell us about your program and why patients don't get frustrated and quit, and why it's different from so many others.
When patients are on this diet program, they are not hungry, they have lots of energy, they feel well, their energy starts to improve with their weight loss, and they see results of losing between 4 and 5 pounds every single week on the program. That's 16 to 20 pounds every month. That's losing 50 pounds in 2.5 to 3 months, losing 100 pounds in 6 months. It's dramatic. And so when patients are feeling well after the first week they start on a diet, their energy's improved after 1 week, they've lost an inch off their waistline, they've lost 4 or 5 pounds, and they are motivated to stay on the program and keep doing it. So the fact that they're losing well, feeling well, and getting motivated makes an enormous difference. Patients stay motivated to stay on the program till they come right down to a normal, healthy level with all the excess storage fat being reduced. Another aspect of the diet program is once they reach their goal, we have to teach the patient how to eat for a thinner person instead of someone who's overweight or obese. So we have a maintenance program that we start with the patient, and we start to reintroduce some of the old foods so that patients can get back to eating most everything with small portions, and even good healthy foods, portion control becomes important. And we monitor our patients and follow them on maintenance for a year, sometimes longer, so that we know they've developed better eating habits and how they can get through lifestyle changes and maintain a healthy weight status.
Once Dr. Bernstein's team gets you to that healthy weight status and you've learned how to maintain it, the roller coaster ride is coming to an end. Dr. Bernstein talks about the value of having ongoing support and accountability, and how early in his career, he quickly learned the results were far more dramatic by providing continued support. Up until the pandemic changed everything, that support was administered in person at the clinics. Now that the program has shifted to an at-home version without clinic visits, the support continues from the comfort of your own home. You still get the feedback, the medical monitoring, and the encouragement. The results are impressive. Dr. Bernstein talks about why the maintenance is so important and so effective for those with specific medical issues such as diabetes.
They're overweight and their blood sugar management is out of control. They're not taking enough medications, they're eating too much of the wrong foods, and their blood sugars are too high and they're running into complications of diabetes. And once we start them and we manage their blood sugars, and they have to report their blood sugars, we are able to, with the diet management, reduce their insulin levels as they keep losing weight. And every one of our type 2 diabetics who has lost weight with us will stop all medications, they won't need it anymore, and they do not have clinical diabetes anymore. There's been a lot of effort from myself and many of my nursing staff. We've done very tight clinical monitoring of our patients. Patients coming in to get monitored, to get our vitamin injections, to test their blood, to test urine samples and make sure they're healthy, and then we adjust their other ongoing medications. For example, a diabetic who comes to us if they're a type 2 diabetic, which means an adult onset diabetic, as they lose weight, they're eating smaller amounts of food. They don't need the same amount of insulin or medications to control their blood sugar.
With a team of professionals by your side throughout the entire journey, it's far easier to maintain that motivation and feel good knowing your goals will likely be achieved. Ready to get off that roller coaster ride yet? Let's take a look at a common scenario that can cause that roller coaster effect.
It's that time again.
We wait all year for this.
The holidays are a time loaded with food-related traditions.
I love to eat.
There has to be a pumpkin pie on the table.
The flavors get into that turkey and it's so juicy.
The holidays. They come around every year. We travel to visit loved ones and enjoy gatherings, relaxation, and lots of amazing food. What to do now? How does Dr. Bernstein's program deal with these periods of indulgence? With a program that helps get you back on track before any minor weight gain escalates into something bigger, it's almost the same concept as taking your car into the shop for a tune-up.
When they get into maintenance and we start to reintroduce the foods, we introduce a little bit the first week, a little bit more the next week, et cetera, et cetera. When we get further down the road, like maybe a month, depending on the patient, we'll say, fine, if you used to like wine, try a glass of wine 2 or 3 times a week if that's what you used to do. And then we'll follow them at the end of the week and see what they've done with their weight control. So we try to get them to manage it with portion control, see how it affects their body, and manage the weight loss with that. On that same concept, we will have patients doing really well, and then they take a break and they go on a holiday where they binge out, overeat, fool around. They come back and they've gained, say, 10 pounds. We put them back on the strict diet for 2 weeks, lose the 10 pounds, then get back onto the maintenance and continue it that way. So that we deal with their lifestyle and their changes and their little discrepancies so that they can end up staying healthy all the way through. Or if family has a party and they overeat a meal or 2 or 3, and if they gain 2 or 3 or 4 pounds, we will catch it. And so while they're on the maintenance, we'll cut their food back a little bit to lose the weight slowly on the maintenance, the extra 4 or 5 pounds, and then back into the open maintenance package again. But one way or other, we don't want them gaining more than 5 or 6 pounds.
What Dr. Bernstein just described is how they smooth out the roller coaster effect. It makes a huge difference when you have the confidence knowing the team working alongside you is there to help out. Bon voyage. Now that you've shed those pounds and you're loving the new you, we can properly get into maintenance.
Welcome to the drive-thru. Can I take your order?
That is not a healthy eating habit.
We try to teach our patients to eat properly, the right type of foods. We want them learning to eat properly for the rest of their life and to get used to portion control while they're doing the program. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me to teach them how to eat a package of high protein just in a package, and at the end of the day, they don't know how to eat regular food. They're not going to live on packaged proteins or packaged meals for the rest of their life. They have to learn how to eat properly.
What Dr. Bernstein is describing is reprogramming yourself to change your habits of poor eating. Let's look at the psychology behind habits to better understand what is happening. According to research conducted by Charles Duhigg and published in his book, The Power of Habit, the process of building a habit can be divided into 4 simple steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. Breaking it down into these fundamental parts can help us understand what a habit is, how it works, and how to improve it. This 4-step pattern is the backbone of every habit, and your brain runs through these steps in the same order each time. These 4 steps can be split into 2 phases: the problem and the solution. This process is an endless feedback loop that is active during every waking moment.
So here's the problem. Okay, so here's the problem. Okay, so here's the problem.
To summarize how to break those bad habits, if a behavior is insufficient in any of the 4 stages, it will not become a habit. Eliminate the cue, and your habit will never start. Reduce the craving, and you won't experience enough motivation to act. Make the behavior difficult, and you won't be able to do it. And if the reward fails to satisfy your desire, then you'll have no reason to do it again in the future. Without the first 3 steps, a behavior will not occur. Without the 4th, a behavior will not be repeated. Knowing the process, then, of habits and how we change from bad to good is where the support of Dr. Bernstein's team comes in. With their help, you can invert the bad habits. You can make your old eating habits unattractive and unsatisfying and make those new habits easy, attractive, and satisfying through the continued reinforcement and a clear vision of the positive new you. Just for fun, we thought we'd ask Dr. Bernstein about his eating habits.
First of all, I want to let you know that I'm not overweight, so I can have a little bit of play with the foods I eat. If I do have a breakfast, it is often a couple of eggs, scrambled. I'll put in some tomatoes, or I'll make an omelet, a little bit of cheese, low-fat cheese, and I'll have a slice of bread with low carbohydrate in it, and 2 or 3 days a week I'll have a glass of tomato juice. I will drink coffee throughout the day. Before I started being a physician, I got used to drinking coffee, which was double, through med school. As an ambulance driver, I had nighttime shifts, and everybody was drinking coffee double to stay awake all night. And when I started getting into the family practice, I saw how bad it was. My coffee is now black. By the way, a lot of caffeine stimulates insulin, which makes people get hungry. So my patients who are overweight, we tell them they can have 1 dose of caffeine a day, be it coffee or any of the soft drinks that have caffeine, 1 dose a day only, and with some of them I have to eliminate it totally. Sometimes I eat a lunch, sometimes I don't. For dinner, my dinner is generally either white piece of chicken. I periodically will have a steak. I grill them on the barbecue, cut the fat off. I don't eat the fat parts of it. I don't eat the skin of chicken. I tend to have the white meat instead of the dark meat of the chicken. I like a lot of fish. My fish is generally white fish or salmon. I like that a few times a week as well. Vegetables, I'll have a lot of vegetables throughout the day. Broccoli, cauliflower, peppers, tomatoes, mushrooms. A couple times a week I'll have potato, one way or other. I like rice, small portions, which are starchier. So I'll vary my vegetables, but even my patients, we put them on a pound of vegetables a day, 16 ounces a day, and of the leaner, low-carbohydrate vegetables. So I tend to stick with that. When I was younger, I used to like ice cream, but I think I have maybe 1 dose of ice cream once every 2 or 3 weeks, especially if I'm in Florida. My alcohol intake is very low. I may have 1 drink maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, hardly anything. So that's my food intake.
With all that you're doing to assist with proper meal preparation, it's almost as if you could have your own cookbook.
We have a recipe book with several hundred recipes in it, by the way, for our patients to comply with the foods and the preparation so that it becomes easy for them. Even I can do the recipes. That's part of the program.
The ride is over. You're never alone in this weight loss journey. Think of any long-term project or program you've undertaken. Enthusiasm is always high at the beginning, then as you progress through the project, it begins to diminish. This is just human nature. Dr. Bernstein's team is very adept at helping you maintain that motivation by experiencing consistent weight loss, which is one of the many reasons his program has such a high level of success. Social gatherings are a part of life, and nobody should be denied some of life's simple pleasures. Dr. Bernstein's program helps teach you how to handle those situations so that you don't just go overboard and indulge. Finally, what to buy, how to prepare it, and how much to eat is all part of the new approach to healthy eating. So, what have you got to lose? That's it for this episode of The Science of Healthy Weight Loss with Dr. Stanley K. Bernstein. We hope this episode empowered you to better understand how it's so easy to get on that roller coaster of dieting and how the Bernstein Weight Loss Program is here to help you get off that crazy ride. To learn more about healthy weight loss, visit drbdiet.com. That's drbdiet.com. Or email your questions to podcasts@drbdiet.com. Stay healthy, and we'll talk to you in episode 6 in This Together, where we will learn the details of the at-home program and look ahead to how weight loss can create a better future for you.